Have you ever felt like something strange is happening in your home? As if the energy isn't flowing as it should, or the blessings that should surround you are blocked by something invisible? If you're watching this message, it's not by chance. There's something important you need to know. Something Pope John Paul II warned us about that could completely change the energy in your house. Before we continue, I want to ask you to pay close attention. This message is so urgent and necessary that I need you to write in the comments, "I'm ready to receive protection." Do it right now, because what I'm about to reveal isn't common information. It's a valuable warning, passed down from generation to generation, from mouth to mouth, from heart to heart. Pope John Paul II, with his deep connection to the sacred, identified certain objects that might be affecting your life without you realizing it. And no, we're not talking about superstitions or simple folk beliefs. We're talking about a spiritual reality that could be interfering with your prayers, your peace, and the harmony in your home. Many of us tend to attribute financial difficulties, family problems, persistent illnesses, or endless conflicts to bad luck. But Pope John Paul II taught us that our home is a temple, and just as we take care of its physical cleanliness, we must also keep it spiritually pure. There are objects that act as invisible barriers to prosperity, and although they may seem harmless, they could be preventing divine grace from flowing freely in your life. In this video, we'll explore 3 objects that Pope John Paul II advised us to remove from our homes. These items might surprise you, but understanding their impact could be the key to unlocking a more blessed and harmonious life. Are you ready to discover what they are and how they might be affecting you? Stay with me, because this information could change everything you thought you knew about your home's spiritual energy. Remember, this isn't about fear or superstition. It's about awareness and taking positive action to create a space where blessings can truly thrive. So let's begin this journey of discovery together, guided by the wisdom of Pope John Paul II, and learn how to make our homes true sanctuaries of peace and divine grace. Let's start with the first object that Pope John Paul, who warned us about: broken mirrors. Now you might be thinking, it's just an old superstition about 7 years of bad luck, but it's much deeper than that. According to Pope John Paul II, mirrors aren't just decorative items, they're energy portals that amplify both good and bad. When a mirror is broken, it distorts the image it reflects. It fragments reality and alters the energy of the space it's in. Even a small crack can turn a mirror from a blessing into a potential problem. Pope John Paul II explained that intact mirrors can help multiply light and harmony in the home. But when damaged, they can become conduits for negativity, even interfering with our prayers. Take a moment and think, do you have any broken or cracked mirrors in your home? Even if it's just a small chip in the corner, it could be affecting your home's energy more than you realize. But don't worry, there's a solution, and it's simpler than you might think. If you do have a broken mirror, it's time to remove it. But it's not just about throwing it away. Pope John Paul II taught that we should do this with respect. Wrap the mirror in paper or cloth, say a protection prayer, and then dispose of it properly. It's also important to cleanse the area where it was hanging. You can use holy water or say a cleansing prayer. Many people who followed this advice have noticed immediate changes in their homes. The atmosphere becomes lighter, conflicts decrease, and blessings begin to flow more easily. It's amazing how such a simple act can have such a profound impact on our lives. But here's the thing, it's not just about the mirrors. Our homes are filled with objects that carry energy, both positive and negative. Pope John Paul II emphasized the importance of being mindful about what we bring into our sacred spaces. Every item in your home should contribute to an atmosphere of peace, love, and spiritual growth. Think about your home for a moment. Are there areas where you feel uncomfortable or uneasy, Rooms where arguments seem to happen more often. These could be signs that something is disrupting the energy flow. By addressing these issues, starting with broken mirrors, you're taking the first step towards creating a true sanctuary. Remember, your home is more than just a place to live. It's a reflection of your inner world, a space where your spirit should feel nourished and protected. By following Pope John Paul II's guidance, you're not just changing your surroundings, you're opening the door to profound spiritual transformation. In our next segment, we'll explore another surprising object that Pope John Paul II advised against keeping in our homes. It's something many of us have without even realizing its potential impact. Stay tuned, because this information could be the key to unlocking a new level of peace and blessings in your life. CTA. If this topic is already making you reflect, take a moment to subscribe to our channel. You'll continue to receive transformative content like this, helping you create a truly blessed home environment. Now, let's move on to the second object that Pope John Paul II warned about. And this might surprise you. Decorative owl figures. You might be thinking, but owls are so cute. How can they be a problem? Well, let's dive into what Pope John Paul II taught us about these seemingly innocent decorations. In recent years, owl figurines and images have become incredibly popular in home decor. They're everywhere, on pillows, as bookends, even as wall art. But Pope John Paul II cautioned us about the symbolic weight these objects carry. In many ancient cultures, owls have been associated with darkness, confusion, and the disruption of spiritual balance. Pope John Paul II explained that certain symbols can attract energies we don't want in our homes, even if we don't believe in their power. It's not about superstition, it's about being mindful of the spiritual atmosphere we create in our living spaces. He taught that our homes should be filled with symbols that uplift and protect, not those that might invite uncertainty or unease. Many people who have owl decorations in their homes have reported unexplained difficulties sleeping, feelings of restlessness, or even a tense atmosphere with no apparent reason. Of course, this doesn't mean that every problem in your home is because of an owl figure, but according to Pope John Paul II's teachings, why take the risk? If you have owl decorations in your home, don't panic. There's no need to be afraid. Pope John Paul II advised removing these items with respect and intention. You might have received them as well-meaning gifts or bought them because you liked their design. That's okay. The important thing is to be aware now and take action. When removing owl items from your home, Pope John Paul II suggested saying a simple prayer or blessing. This isn't about fear. It's about consciously choosing to fill your space with positive, uplifting energy. After removing these items, you might want to cleanse the area with holy water or by burning some blessed incense. But here's the beautiful part. Pope John Paul II didn't just tell us what to remove. He also guided us on what to add to our homes. Instead of owl figures, consider adding images or figurines that truly elevate the energy of your home. Crosses, angels, or natural elements that convey peace and protection are all excellent choices. Think about it. Every object in your home tells a story and carries energy. By choosing items that align with your faith and values, you're actively creating a space that supports your spiritual growth and well-being. It's like building a fortress of positivity and divine protection around you and your loved ones. Remember, Pope John Paul II's advice comes from a place of deep spiritual wisdom and care for our well-being. He understood that our physical environment plays a crucial role in our spiritual lives. By making these simple changes, you're not just redecorating, you're reclaiming your home as a sacred space. In our next segment, we'll explore the third and perhaps most important object that Pope John Paul II warned against. It's something that might be hiding in plain sight in your home right now. Stay with me, because this information could be the final piece in transforming your home into a true haven of peace and blessings. Now, let's talk about the third object Pope John Paul II warned us about, and it might be the most surprising of all: decorative masks. You know, those artistic masks people often hang on walls or display on shelves. According to Pope John Paul II, these seemingly innocent decorations can have a profound impact on our home's spiritual energy. Throughout history, masks have been used in rituals and ceremonies for spiritual purposes. Many of these purposes were associated with concealment, duality, and altering one's identity. Pope John Paul II taught that even when we buy masks as simple decorations, thinking they add an artistic touch to our homes, they can actually exert a negative influence on our living space. Have you ever felt uncomfortable in certain areas of your home, like something or someone was watching you? Pope John Paul II warned that masks, even small ones, can act as entry points for disturbing energies. He was particularly concerned about their effect on children, who are often more sensitive to these spiritual influences. Now you might be thinking, but I just bought this mask on vacation as a souvenir. That's completely understandable. Pope John Paul II wasn't suggesting that you had any negative intentions. Instead, he was teaching us to be more aware of the spiritual significance objects can carry, even when we don't realize it. If you have decorative masks in your home, Pope John Paul II advised removing them and performing an energy cleansing in the places where they were displayed. You might be amazed at how the atmosphere changes, becoming more harmonious and peaceful. Remember, it's not just about decoration. It's about creating an environment where peace and blessings are the dominant energies. Pope John Paul II shared a beautiful story about a family who removed masks from their home. They had been experiencing unexplained tensions and arguments. After taking down the masks and blessing their home, they noticed an immediate change. The atmosphere became lighter, and they found it easier to communicate and show love to one another. This teaching isn't about fear or superstition. It's about being intentional with our living spaces. Pope John Paul II encouraged us to fill our homes with objects that inspire love, faith, and positive energy. Instead of masks, consider displaying religious icons, family photos, or artwork that uplifts your spirit. Think about your own home. Are there areas that just don't feel right? Rooms where you or your family members tend to argue more? These could be signs that something is disrupting the energy flow. By addressing these issues, starting with removing masks, you're taking a powerful step towards creating a true sanctuary. Remember, Pope John Paul II's advice comes from a place of deep spiritual understanding and love for humanity. He wanted our homes to be places of peace, love, and divine protection. By following his guidance, you're not just changing your decor, you're opening your home to more blessings and positive energy. In our next segment, we'll discuss how to maintain this spiritual cleanliness in your home and what positive objects you can add to enhance the divine protection. Stay with us, because this information could be the key to transforming your living space into a true haven of peace and spiritual growth. CTA. Stories like these remind us of the power of spirituality in our daily lives. If you haven't subscribed, yet do it now and continue this journey with us. You don't want to miss the transformative content we have coming up. Now that we've discussed the objects Pope John Paul II warned us about, let's talk about how you can identify spiritual signs in your own life and home. This is where we move from knowledge to action, applying what we've learned to create real change. First, Pope John Paul II taught us to trust our instincts. Have you ever walked into a room and felt instantly uneasy? Or maybe you've noticed that arguments tend to happen more in certain areas of your home? These could be signs of negative energy. Pay attention to these feelings. They're often our spiritual senses trying to alert us. Next, look for patterns. Are there places in your home where you always feel tired or irritable? Do your children avoid certain rooms? Pope John Paul II explained that consistent negative experiences in specific areas could indicate a need for spiritual cleansing. It's not about being paranoid, but about being aware and proactive. Pope John Paul II also encouraged us to observe our dreams. If you're having recurring nightmares or unsettling dreams, especially about your home, it might be time to reevaluate your living space. He believed that our subconscious often picks up on spiritual disturbances before our conscious mind does. Another sign to watch for is unexplained illnesses or a general feeling of being stuck in life. While these can have many causes, Pope John Paul II suggested that persistent problems with no apparent source might have a spiritual component. If you've tried everything else, consider the energy of your home. Now, let's talk about positive signs. Pope John Paul II taught that a spiritually healthy home often feels warm and welcoming. You should feel at peace when you walk through the door. Guests might comment on how comfortable they feel in your space. These are all good indicators that you're on the right track, but how can you actively create this positive environment? Pope John Paul II recommended several practices. Regular prayer in your home is a powerful way to invite divine presence. He suggested designating a special prayer corner with religious items that are meaningful to you. Blessing your home is another important step. You can do this yourself with holy water or invite a priest to perform a house blessing. Pope John Paul II believed this act could transform the energy of a space, making it a stronghold against negative influences. He also advocated for the power of holy objects. A crucifix in each room, religious artwork, or blessed salt in the corners of your home can all contribute to a protected spiritual environment. These aren't just decorations, they're reminders of your faith and powerful symbols of divine protection. Remember, Pope John Paul II emphasized that maintaining spiritual health in your home is an ongoing process. Just like physical cleaning, it requires regular attention. He suggested a monthly spiritual check-in where you walk through your home, praying and being mindful of any areas that might need attention. Lastly, Pope John Paul II taught that our own spiritual state greatly affects our home's energy. Regular prayer, confession, and living a life aligned with your faith all contribute to creating a spiritually healthy environment. Your home is a reflection of your inner world, so nurturing your own spirituality is key. By following these guidelines, you're not just creating a comfortable living space, you're establishing a spiritual sanctuary for yourself and your loved ones. In our next segment, we'll delve deeper into specific prayers and practices you can use to enhance the divine protection in your home. Let's dive deeper into how we can apply Pope John Paul II's teachings to create a spiritually protected home. Remember, this isn't just about removing negative objects. It's about actively inviting divine presence into our living spaces. Pope John Paul II often spoke about the power of prayer in transforming our homes. He suggested starting each day with a simple blessing of your house. It doesn't have to be long or complicated. Something as simple as, "Lord, bless this home and all who dwell in it," can set a positive tone for the day. But what about specific areas of your home? Pope John Paul II recommended paying special attention to entryways. He taught that these are spiritual as well as physical thresholds. Consider placing a small holy water font near your front door. As you enter and leave, make the sign of the cross as a reminder of God's protection. For the kitchen, the heart of many homes, Pope John Paul II suggested keeping a prayer or blessing visible. This could be a framed prayer for grace before meals, or a beautiful piece of artwork depicting the Last Supper. These serve as reminders to be grateful for our daily bread and to invite Christ into our family gatherings. In bedrooms, Pope John Paul II emphasized the importance of creating a peaceful atmosphere conducive to rest and prayer. He recommended having a small icon or crucifix near the bed. This not only serves as protection, but also as a focal point for evening prayers. For shared living spaces like the living room, Pope John Paul II suggested creating a small altar or prayer corner. This doesn't have to be elaborate. A shelf with a candle, a Bible, and perhaps a statue of Mary or your patron saint can serve as a powerful reminder of the sacred in our everyday lives. But what about the less visited areas of our homes? Pope John Paul II didn't forget about these. For basements, attics, or storage areas, he recommended occasional prayers of blessing and protection. These areas, often neglected, can benefit from spiritual attention too. Now, let's talk about the outdoor areas of our homes. Pope John Paul, who believed that our yards and gardens could also be places of spiritual significance. He suggested blessing these areas and even adding religious statuary if appropriate. A small statue of St. Francis, for example, can serve as a beautiful reminder of God's creation. Pope John Paul II also spoke about the power of Scripture in our homes. He encouraged families to have a Bible in a prominent place and to read from it regularly. Consider choosing a verse that speaks to your family and displaying it where everyone can see it daily. Remember, creating a spiritually protected home isn't a one-time event. Pope John Paul II taught that it's an ongoing process, much like tending a garden. Regular prayer, mindfulness, and small acts of faith all contribute to a home filled with divine presence. Lastly, Pope John Paul II reminded us that the most important factor in a spiritually healthy home is the love and faith of those who live in it. No amount of blessed objects can replace genuine love, forgiveness, and faith lived out daily. By following these teachings, you're not just decorating your home, you're creating a sanctuary, a place where heaven touches earth. In our final segment, we'll discuss how to maintain this spiritual protection and share some powerful testimonies of lives changed through these practices. CTA, if you've made it this far, it's clear this topic resonates with you. Don't miss out on future videos. Subscribe to our channel now and continue this journey of spiritual discoveries with us. As we near the end of our journey through Pope John Paul II's teachings on creating a spiritually protected home, let's take a moment to reflect on how all of this applies to our daily lives. How can we integrate these practices into our routines and truly transform our living spaces? Pope John Paul II often emphasized that our homes should be reflections of our faith. He asked us to consider, does your home speak of your beliefs? When someone walks in, can they sense the presence of God? These aren't just rhetorical questions, they're invitations to look at our living spaces with new eyes. Think about your daily routines. Pope John Paul II suggested finding ways to incorporate small acts of faith into these routines. For example, as you make your bed in the morning, say a quick prayer of thanksgiving for a good night's rest. As you prepare meals, bless the food and those who will eat it. These simple acts can transform mundane tasks into moments of spiritual connection. But what about when life gets busy and chaotic? Pope John Paul II understood the challenges of modern life. He advised creating a spiritual emergency kit, a collection of prayers, scripture verses, or holy objects that you can turn to in times of stress. This might be a small box with a rosary, a prayer card, and a vial of holy water. Knowing it's there can provide comfort and strength when you need it most. Now let's address a common concern. What if not everyone in your household shares your faith? Pope John Paul II taught that love and respect should always come first. He suggested leading by example rather than forcing beliefs on others. Your quiet acts of faith and the peace they bring to your home can be powerful witnesses. Pope John Paul II also spoke about the importance of forgiveness in maintaining a spiritually healthy home. He taught that holding on to grudges or past hurts can create spiritual blockages. Regular forgiveness check-ins with family members can help clear the air and keep your home's spiritual atmosphere light and positive. Let's not forget the power of gratitude. Pope John Paul II believed that a grateful heart was key to spiritual well-being. He suggested ending each day by listing 3 things you're thankful for about your home and family. This simple practice can shift your perspective and invite more blessings into your life. Remember, creating a spiritually protected home isn't about perfection. Pope John Paul II often reminded us that God's grace works in our imperfections. The goal is progress, not perfection. Each small step you take to align your home with your faith is valuable and meaningful. As we conclude, I want you to take a moment and visualize your ideal, spiritually protected home. What does it feel like? How do you and your loved ones interact in this space? Pope John Paul II taught that this vision can be a powerful motivator for change. Implementing these teachings may seem overwhelming at first, but remember, you don't have to do everything at once. Start with one room, one practice, or one object. Let the changes grow organically, guided by your faith and the wisdom passed down to us by Pope John Paul II. In our final segment, we'll summarize the key points and provide you with a simple action plan to begin transforming your home into a haven of spiritual protection and divine blessings. As we come to the end of our journey through Pope John Paul II's teachings on creating a spiritually protected home, let's take a moment to reflect on the profound wisdom we've uncovered. This isn't just about rearranging furniture or removing a few objects. It's about transforming our living spaces into sanctuaries of faith, love, and divine protection. Pope John Paul II understood that our homes are more than just physical structures. They're extensions of our hearts, reflections of our souls. By applying his teachings, we're not just changing our environment, we're opening ourselves to a deeper connection with the divine. Think about the power of this transformation. Imagine walking into your home and immediately feeling enveloped in God's love. Picture your family gathering in a space that radiates peace and harmony. Envision conflicts dissolving more easily, prayers rising more freely, and blessings flowing more abundantly. This is the potential that lies within your home when you align it with spiritual principles. But let's be honest, making these changes isn't always easy. It requires commitment, mindfulness, and sometimes difficult choices. You might have to let go of objects you've grown attached to or change habits that are deeply ingrained. Pope John Paul II reminds us that these challenges are opportunities for growth. Each item removed, each prayer said, each blessing given is an act of faith and love. As you move forward, remember that this is a journey, not a destination. Your home's spiritual atmosphere will evolve as you do. There will be setbacks and moments of doubt. But Pope John Paul II encourages us to persevere. He taught that even small, consistent efforts can yield profound results over time. Consider the ripple effect of your actions. A spiritually protected home doesn't just benefit you and your immediate family, it becomes a beacon of light in your community. Friends who visit may feel inspired to make changes in their own homes. Your children will carry these practices into their future households. You're not just creating a sanctuary, you're passing on a legacy of faith. Pope John Paul II often spoke about the battle between light and darkness in our world. By creating a spiritually protected home, you're taking a stand in this battle. You're declaring your living space as territory claimed for God's love and light. In a world that often feels chaotic and uncertain, your home can become a stronghold of peace and divine presence. As we close, I want you to pause and listen. Can you hear the whisper of possibility? Can you feel the potential for transformation, hovering just within reach? Pope John Paul II believed that each of us has the power to create a little piece of heaven on earth, starting right where we live. So, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you let it fade away, or will you take action? Pope John Paul II challenges us to be bold in our faith, to take concrete steps towards aligning our homes with our spiritual beliefs. The choice is yours, but remember, every journey begins with a single step. Tonight, as you return to your home, look at it with new eyes. See not just walls and furniture, but a canvas waiting to be transformed by faith and love. Let Pope John Paul II's teachings guide you as you begin this beautiful journey of creating a truly spiritually protected home. Remember, you're not alone in this endeavor. The same divine presence you're inviting into your home is with you every step of the way, guiding, protecting, and blessing your efforts. Trust in this presence, lean on it, and watch as your home becomes a true reflection of God's love in the world. May your home be blessed, may your faith be strengthened, and may you always find peace and protection within its walls. Go forth and create the sanctuary you and your loved ones deserve. Now that we've explored Pope John Paul II's powerful teachings on creating a spiritually protected home, it's time for action. But before you go, I have a few important requests for you. First, if this message has touched your heart and opened your eyes to the spiritual potential of your home, please take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. What part of Pope John Paul II's teachings resonated with you the most? Are there any changes you're planning to make in your home after watching this video? Your experiences and insights could be exactly what someone else needs to hear to start their own journey of spiritual home transformation. Second, if you found value in this video, please consider sharing it with your friends and family. Think about someone you know who might be struggling with the energy in their home, or who's seeking to deepen their faith. By sharing this video, you could be the catalyst for positive change in their lives. Remember, Pope John Paul II taught us that spreading the light of faith is one of the greatest acts of love we can perform. Lastly, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. We're committed to bringing you more content inspired by the teachings of great spiritual leaders like Pope John Paul II. By subscribing, you'll ensure you don't miss out on future videos that could further enrich your spiritual life and home. Remember, creating a spiritually protected home is an ongoing journey. Each step you take, no matter how small, is significant. We're here to support you on this path, providing guidance and inspiration along the way. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Pope John Paul II's wisdom. May your home become a true sanctuary of faith, love, and divine protection. Until next time, may God bless you and keep you safe in His loving embrace.